Well, you know, this march has its origins in far-right groups considered by many to be neo-fascist, and the mayor of Warsaw, Rafał Trzaskowski, who's a liberal, he's in the opposition, has never hidden his disapproval of it. And it was on procedural grounds, though, this year that the march was not allowed. A bit complicated to explain, but they hadn't given the documents in time, basically. And at the same time, an anti-fascist organisation, 14 Women from the Bridge, they're called, because in 2017 they tried to block this march as it was crossing a bridge and were treated violently. They put in a request to organise an anti-fascist march along the same route, and having put in all their documents in the way that they should and in time, the mayor of Warsaw had no other option but to authorise that. So we were in a situation where there was an anti-fascist march that was authorised, and the nationalistic march that has a 10-year tradition and does attract tens of thousands of people, that was banned, and the nationalists were saying they would come anyway. So the situation was potentially quite explosive. And then what happened, despite 3 court decisions saying on appeal and again that the nationalist march could not be organised, then the government basically came to the rescue of the nationalists by using the state organisation for combatants and veterans to say that they wanted to be co-organisers of this march, and that gave it the character of a state ceremony which takes precedence over any other kind of demonstration. So then the organisation 14 Women from the Bridge said that they would cancel their event because they could not guarantee the security of participants, but they're saying that they've achieved a moral victory because they've basically forced the Polish government to reveal its cards, if you want, long suspected of being linked with these far-right nationalist groups, long suspected of supporting them. It's now basically had to say officially that it does.
So, Gulliver, what do you think that we can expect from this gathering, especially against the backdrop of Poland's crisis with the European Union, as well as that ongoing crisis at the border with Belarus?
Well, you know, at the time when there was going to be an anti-fascist march and a nationalist march going on at the same place at the same time, there were very real fears of clashes. I think those have, to some extent, subsided now that the anti-fascist march has been cancelled. But what we see every year with this march is people marching through the centre of Warsaw with flares. It's very noisy. And although, of course, some of the participants would describe themselves as ordinary conservatives, there are lots of people who take part who are clearly members of far-right organisations with white power slogans, with anti-Semitic slogans, and I'm sure today a lot of them will also be chanting slogans against the migrants.